Hey, what's going on, guys? Want to talk about these borders. Everybody keep talking about the lands and getting the land patents and everything of that nature, which of course is very important. That stuff needs to be done. It needs to be taken care of. Wrongs need to be righted, so on and so forth. But in the same sense, we have to think of being trapped in our minds with so many different factors. We are being trapped in our mind with the borders in these areas when it comes to education, when it comes to what's going on with the news, when it comes to them talking about these things I don't want to mention that, get you banned, but these so-called things that are attacking people and causing so many deaths and they want all this stuff to be going on to keep us in a state of confusion, numbness, brainwash, zombies, robots, more going into what they want us to do as far as being under their thumb of rule so that they're able to guide us to the directions they want for us to be able to, you know, be manipulated. Our energy's used, our energy cipher for the use of things on this realm. Most of the things we don't even need. Most of the things we focus on are the things that are not important, I guess even important to whatever it is that we need to be striving for in this life. I mean, everything in this physical, of course, we need it. We need the things in the physical to help us reside in this area. We need the things in the physical to help us be able to be on um, a even plane, getting back to what our ancestors have been, you know, tricked out of, manipulated out of. Killed for, so on and so forth. But in the same sense, when we're thinking about those things, so many things have been coming open and to the forefront where they're not able to hide this stuff any longer. So a lot of the historical lies have been outed. It's just a matter of getting the information, striving for the information, and knowing what you're going to do with the information, doing the land patents and going after land that your ancestors have had, being able to build communities. These type of things are beneficial, but when being beneficial, we have to have a plan put in place when wanting to create a foundation. If you're starting to build anything, there are certain tools that you need in order to build that foundation. I'm having sinus issues, guys. You have to excuse my voice. Um, Yeah, but there are certain tools you need. You have to have the equipment. You have to have all the tools in place. You may need the laborers. You may need a few things to help guide you along as far as the instructions of what you're trying to be built. So a lot of times when talking about doing certain things, if there's no plan in order, it's bound to fail. So what we need to do is have some type of order as far as like what you're trying to do with your land so that you don't have so much focus on it. Maybe take a certain time out of the week to focus on it. look into it, have a family meeting, find out what's going on with that. Doing those type of things will help you be a little more focused and you take a certain amount of time on one particular thing. Throughout the day, if you're thinking about a whole bunch of things, you can never get anything accomplished because there's too much on your mind. You can't think of, hi, great light, Aaron. I know I came in kind of late. I have to adjust myself to the time when I'm on here thinking about going live or something pops in my head. I have to make sure that I'm aware that the time is late. I'm like, oh man, it's 12 here. It's probably like 2 or 3 in some areas, but just was up a little bit and just jumped on for a quick live. Brother, I don't know if you want to join me in that. I'll drop the link just in case, but yeah, I was thinking about the borders of our mind, and the one thing I'm thinking about is how we're being consumed by that, and people, they have such a focus on that. A lot of it is to do with the so-called pandemic we're going through. A lot of it has to do with illness that are put on people. A lot of it has to do with people being consumed with this so-called money or free money that they're getting. Even if they're not making any type of use with it or using it beneficially. A lot of people are wasting it. They're not investing it, taking the time now to do anything that would be beneficial and growing their income versus having a little things to depend on. So the one thing I was just thinking about is the borders of the mind and the spellbinding of the words, the history, the lies and the foundations and so many different things that people are trapped in. And when coming aware or awakened to these things, um, I enjoyed meeting you too, brother. It was a pleasure. So I enjoyed meeting everyone that came out to California. It was my first time, actually joined a meet and greet of like-minded people, and a lot of us need to do that more. We're able to grow in those ways, so on and so forth. Yeah, I have to take a drink. My sinuses are bothering me. My throat's dry. Oh. But yeah, people have to take advantage of these things so we can think together. This actually opens the borders of the mind, traveling, going to different areas. People have to be able to move around and adjust themselves to different spaces. Different spaces allows a different space in the mind to be open and broadened for, um, different frequencies to come in and just basically the connections in the mind and the body and the spirit. Physicality has a lot to do with the area, places that we are, the things that we think, the things that we see, the things that are in our mind, making a complete picture, all these things. So we have to be aware of, um, what's going on within us and how it pertains to what's going on in the environment around us because we actually create these things. And yeah, we have to make sure that we're aware of the steps it takes, to go in the right direction. A lot of times we're just moving freely and going with the flow. It's always a saying I've heard. My main was quoted, but it said something about going with the flow or flowing with the time or something. But if you're moving with the flow, then you're not in any control or having any type of say so in the direction that you're going. So, me myself, bless you. Me myself, I like to know where I'm going, make sure that when I am going in a certain direction, it's leading to an improvement or something that's going to bring more light to me or, encouragement, so on and so forth. So yes, yeah, but if you if you have time, that's great. I actually just jumped on here for a few minutes, not even realizing the time. Um, when I did 12, I probably should have tried to go live around 10, which was around 12. A lot of people's time that I deal with, it is pretty late. But I'm going to jump on tomorrow actually and talk about this. This is on my mind, so me doing this is going to remind me to make sure that I try and go over it, get the information. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about crosswalking, people being able to, make the communication between the right and left hemisphere and in the brain, and being more influential in thinking and progressing in certain focus and stuff like that. So it's a little late. I want a couple of people to be able to join in and talk about it as well, and get their input on it. You know, we have to think about things to make improvements in our minds, and and this is just one thing that popped in my head and said, hey, let's talk about this. I think it'd be important. Um, so yeah, basically, I appreciate you joining live, bro. Um, oh, right, great, bro. I appreciate it too, but yeah, I am about to lay it down. I'm gonna do this tomorrow. Hopefully, you can join tomorrow. I want to talk a lot about the crosswalking, improving brain skills, a few other things, and um, I wanted to send out an invite to a couple other people. I just wasn't thinking. Just was in my head about something I was thinking about, and I said, let me do this live in a minute and see if anybody's up that I wanted to discuss it with. Which I wouldn't mind if you would have jumped on now, but yeah, I'm actually about to get off. Um, so yeah, just wanted to mention that, guys. If you have a chance to tune in tomorrow, definitely want to talk a little bit more about this, and we'll take it from there. All right. Have a good night, brother.